Okay, so this is going to be a exercise video for snare drum, drum set, and just overall drumming in general. I'm going to be playing on the practice pad with a couple sticks, and you should do the same thing. Play along with me. I'm going to be playing a traditional grip for this. You can play a match if you want. It doesn't matter. And let's go ahead and get started. So the first exercise that we're going to do is a kind of an alternating accent type of pattern, and we're going to eventually put those into flams. But we're just going to start the pattern with just accents, no flams for now. So the pattern is going to sound like this. It's going to be a triplet pattern. It's going to be a triplet pattern, just like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to use a combination of those accents and a combination of diddles or double strokes to vary the pattern a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is just play the check pattern, which is that alternating accent triplet pattern. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to take the diddle and we're going to put the diddle on the first beat. So it's going to sound like this. Okay. Once you get that down, we're going to shift the diddle, keeping the accent in the same spot. We're going to shift the diddle to the second note. So it's going to sound like this. Okay? Try to keep the accent at a consistent volume and keep all the other notes, even if they're a diddle, at a lower volume. You don't want to be having your sticks at different volumes. The whole point of having an accent is to be able to differentiate between a loud sound and a soft sound. And if your accents sound like this, then you're not going to be able to tell the difference. So this is supposed to be for control, also not just relating to diddles and accents, but it's a control exercise. So try to keep those notes down. So now that we have the diddle on the first beat and the diddle on the second beat, we're going to put them together. So we're going to have the first and second beat be diddles. Just like that. So let's do the check pattern. Diddle on the first beat, go back to the check pattern, diddle on the second beat, go back to the check pattern, and then put a diddle on both the first and the second beat. It'll sound a little bit like this. Just like that. Now, what we can do once we get that very comfortable is we can start to add a flam to that. So here's what it's going to sound like with the flam. Here's the check pattern. Nothing changes as far as the exercise and the timing and the notes. It's just that you're adding a flam instead of an accent. And it actually feel pretty similar to the accent because the only thing you're doing is adding the grace note on the opposite hand. So now that we have the check pattern, let's go ahead and do the first pattern where the diddle is on the first beat. It'll sound like prega-da-da, 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 prega-da-da. That's actually called a cheese. A cheese is basically a flam that has a diddle on the same note as the accent. So now we're going to go to a flam drag, which is basically where the diddle is on the second beat. So it's going to sound like this. Again, all a flam drag is a flam and then the note immediately following that being a diddle. So now that we have the flam drag, what we're going to add next is called a flam 5, which is basically the third pattern, where you have a diddle on the first note and the second note. And it'll sound a little bit like this. So that's a flam 5. It's a flam that has a diddle, similar to a cheese, and then another diddle afterwards. So it's kind of like you're combining a cheese and a flam drag, putting them together to make a flam 5. And they basically call it a flam 5 because it makes a sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. So now that we have all these patterns, let's try putting them together in a full exercise. So we're going to start with just accents, and we're going to go through all the diddle patterns and all the check patterns. Then we're going to add flams and go through all the flam patterns also. So it'll sound a little bit like this. One, two, flams, go. So that's the pattern. Basically what it is the series of alternating accents as a triplet, moving the diddle around from certain notes, adding flams, and moving the diddle around on certain notes. And that's it. You can increase the tempo on this to make it more challenging. You can decrease the tempo on this to make sure you're being very accurate and precise with all your notes. Or you can just use this at a slower tempo, kind of like this, or a medium tempo, and just use it as a warm-up. It's a great exercise to work not only on your flams, but your accents, the differences between heights and volume levels between an accent and a softer note. And it's just an overall good chop buster and a good warm-up. Okay, so that's the video. Hope you guys liked it. If you want to see some more of my content, look out in the future, and I'll have some more practice pad exercises, and I'll also have some stick tricks and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't seen the stick tricks tutorial series, check that out on my page also. It's going to be real cool. I've already have some videos up. If you want updates on your YouTube page, subscribe to my channel. And if you have a question, feel free to post a comment below, and I will be glad to answer it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.